Welcome back to day 24 of Orchos Tzaddikim. We are in the Treasure for Life edition of the Orchos Tzaddikim. We're in the middle of the gate of humility, and we talked about different identifiers that identify a person who is humble. The fifth way that we're up to, we're on page 125 on the bottom. Hachamishi, in the fifth way, kishemochiach es atzmo b'ma she'asa ra, la'adam b'masim o b'dvarim. When a person is able to criticize himself for things that he may have done wrong in his own actions or in his own words that he's done against others. Ve'eno tzarech la'oso adam l'shum davar, ve'eno mekavel l'kabel tova mimenu, where he doesn't need the other person, he doesn't need him for anything, he's not expecting a contract or a deal for any favor from the other person. V'yelech ma'atzo bilti haftzara sacherim, and he goes on his own merits without anybody coercing him. And he goes and asks mechila and asks forgiveness, and he humbles himself in front of the person that he offended or insulted or hurt or said something about. Umitaken es she'ives, and he corrects what he wronged. Umidaber lo tachnunim, and he requests his forgiveness. Gam zeh siman la'anova. This is another way to identify a humble person. This is not to identify in others, but really in ourselves. This is a way for us to identify our own status in the trait of humility. Hashishi, what's the sixth identifier? Sheyisnaheg b'ma'nerach, when a person is responding with soft words. Kimoshe nemar ma'nerach yoshiv chema, as the verse states in Proverbs, a soft answer turns away wrath. Ubekol namuch kizeh miderach hashiflos, because this, when a person speaks softly, it's a form of humility, a form of lowliness. Kimo shenemar, as it says, v'shafalta me'eretz tidabri ume'ofar tishach imroseich, and you will be low, you will speak from the earth, and your speech will be low from out of the dust. And a person should also, as one of the identifiers, not invest too much in his clothes and his jewelry and his all of the accessories. As it says, remove your ornaments. And a person's eyes should constantly be lowered, not to be looking up and trying, that's a form of arrogance, of yuhura, but rather it should be shachos, it should be not belittled, but humble. It should be humble. K'moshenemar v'shach einayim yoshia, as the verse states in Job, and him of lowered eyes will he help, meaning the Almighty will help. A person shouldn't be investing and delving into the world of pleasures. A righteous, the verse says, eats to satiate, to satisfy his soul, not to fill up his body and pack it with more and more pleasures. Kol Elohim simone ha'anava. All of these are signs of humility. Ha'anava hu sulam la'alois l'darki HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So this is like more of like a declaration of what is humility. What is anava? Anava, humility, is the ladder that leads to the ways of Hashem. Shenemar yadrech anovim b'mishpat. The verse states he guides the humble in justice and teaches the humble his way. This is a verse in Psalms. Yadrech anovim b'mishpat v'yilamed anovim darko. Umimenu yagia lahasig yiras shamayim, and from this a person will get to attain the trait of yiras shamayim, a fear of heaven. Baruch Hu. Blessed is Hashem. Shenemar ekev anovi yiras Hashem. As a result, the verse says, of anava, of modesty, of humility. As a result of humility will come fear of heaven. Hashchina shora al anovim, the Talmud tells us. The Shechina, the presence of Hashem, resides on those who are humble. Shenemar morim v'kadosh eshkon es daka ushfal ruach. Sha'arei HaKadosh Baruch Hu hiniach kol horim ugvois v'hito shchinose al Har Sinai. If you remember, on which mountain did God choose to show the Jewish people his presence and reveal the Torah to the Jewish people? On which mountain? Not on Mount Everest, not on the largest mountain, but rather on the most humble mountain, Mount Sinai. V'yored lamata, and God went all the way down, descended to Mount Sinai, which was of the smallest mountains. Zuchsiv hakitzu v'rananu shoich ne'afar kital oros talecha. Awaken, sing, you dwellers in the dust, for dew of light is your dew. Mi shenasa shochein la'afar b'chayav ba'olam hazeh yichyel olam haba. One who makes himself a neighbor to the dust, meaning in humility in this world, will live in the world to come. Why? Because Hashem likes those who are humble. Iksiv ki ram Hashem u'shafal yira. And like we mentioned last couple of episodes, where we mentioned that what is true humility? True humility is that you know your place. You know exactly that you are not all high and mighty over yourself. You are actually given gifts by the Almighty, and those gifts are alone from God. They're not yours. You don't own them. They don't belong to you. And therefore, what right do I have to be arrogant about it? If you're smart, if you're gifted with great knowledge, great wisdom, great talent, great wealth, what is that? That's yours? It's not yours. It's a gift that the Almighty gave you. Umi shemesim libo rach kebasov tfilosu nishmas. One, this we know, that one who places his heart soft as flesh, his prayer is heard. Dichsiv yavo kol basar lishtachavos lefanai amar Hashem. That God says, let all flesh come to bow down to me, says Hashem. And you who hear prayer, to you shall all flesh come. Uksiv shomea tefila odecha kol basar yavo. Amar Rabbi Yishua ben Levi. Rabbi Yishua ben Levi said, Bo re'ei kama gdolim nemuchei ruach lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Come and see how the lowly of spirit, those who are humble, are before Hashem. Shebizman shebeis hamikdash kayam, when the temple was standing, Adam makriv ola, schar ola biyado. If someone brought a burnt offering, he would gain the reward for a burnt offering. But mincha, schar mincha biyado, if he brought the meal offering, he would gain the reward of the meal offering. Aval mi shedato shfela, but someone who is humble of spirit, the Torah considers it as if he had brought all the offerings before the Almighty. As it is written, Zivchei Elokim Ruach Nishbara. The choicest of the offerings for Hashem are those of broken spirit, meaning those who are humble. But also someone who's humble, his prayer is not despised by the Almighty. Lev Nishbar V'nidkeh Elokim lo sivzeh. A heart that is broken and oppressed, Hashem shall not despise. So we see here that it's very, very important for us to maintain a state of humility, because that's the ideal way in which Hashem loves the way we conduct our lives as humble people. This concludes day number 24. I look forward to continuing day 25 together.